Hey guys, this is Simon with Caddis Fly Shop and Oregon Fly Fishing Blog, and I have a green drake for you guys here today. In green drake emerger, we're calling it the Cliffhanger green drake because the back is tied out of ostrich, so it drops the butt down. Looks like a emerging green drake. Really great for slower water where the fish have more time to come up and look at it, or really pressured water. This would be really good on the Metolius. So I will give you guys a closer look, and we'll go ahead and tie it. So looking a little bit closer at this fly here, like I said, this is ostrich, and I chose ostrich because this will sop up water, and that'll force this fly's butt to drop down. So this fly's really going to be riding like this. This will look like the nymphal shuck of a green drake, which is pretty large once it gets wet. And this will be the kind of captive green drake trying to get out right up here. This little bit of green dubbing, this foam, wing, and hackle up here. So it's going to sit like this. This is going to be wet, and it specifically picked this ostrich to do that. And so that's what makes this such a good fly for picky fish that really key in on struggling insects emerging. This one would be a really, really great one. And it would particularly excel in slower moving water or calmer water. You know, this doesn't, you can super heavily hackle it with wider hackle to have it float better. And like if you're fishing in like a riffle, that's quicker. But this one really excels like for fish sipping in a tailout or maybe on like a spring creek or some other slow water. So for you guys that need a green drake for picky fish, this is the one. So this hook I'm using here is the FW 531 Sedge Dry Barbless. You can do the 530 if you want a barb. I happen to grab the 531 because I like to fish barbless. And then this is Semperfli Nano Silk Olive. This is one of my favorite threads that I've been using lately. And so we're going to take wraps to the back. You can also tie this in a 10 if you need. Green drakes normally come in at 10 or 12. I opted for 12 because when you are fishing for picky fish, sizing down can help you out. But if you want to be fishing this in faster water and hackle it heavier, put a little more foam, bigger wing, you can put it on a 10. So for the back body, like I said, it's ostrich. So I have gray ostrich right here that we're going to be using. And 3 strands is the ticket. You know, we're going to make a little tail back here. And then it's just going to be the old exoskeleton that we're going to be mimicking with this stuff. So we're going to tie it in back here. If you do 1 or 2 wraps, leave it a little bit longer than how you want it. And then you can pull it up. That's the easiest way to adjust it real quick. And then we're going to take a couple wraps up and just pinch it back like this. And just get that out of the way so it'll be ready to be palmered up the shank. Next, I have some extra small soft wire, and this is an olive. So we're going to take a little bit of this wire. Any small wire will do. This is just to help hold this ostrich together. Ostrich, this fly will get pretty beat up with the ostrich if you don't have wire to hold it in. So this is just to lock in the wire. I happen to pick green because it's a green drake, but you can use something else. Just any small wire you definitely need on this fly just to help with a little bit of durability. So now we're going to palmer this up. This is where having a rotary vise is really helpful. Makes this part really quick. Just palmer it up to about here. You know, it doesn't take up a lot of space, even though it looks really puffy. You can wrap over it and just pretty much smush it down. I know right here I went too far up, but it is not a big deal. And then again here we're going to palmer this up. This is just to help lock in that ostrich. And then now we'll pinch this off. So now we're going to put in a little piece of foam. And I like the Hairline, this new Hairline 3mm high float foam. A little bit thicker, helps it float a little bit better. And this actually has a little parachute post made of this foam, and I've just found that the 3mm for this particular fly works a little bit better at making a post, just because there's a little bit more to clamp down and make a post out of. So we're going to kind of lock this in here. You want to leave a little bit of space in the front here to do your final whip finish. And you don't need to go back terribly far. You know, just that's enough. This is just going to imitate a little green spot for the emerging green drake done. And so then I snip this off pretty close right back here. And this will add a little bit of buoyancy on the back too. I snip it down even more to create a kind of a slim profile that hides under the body when the fish is looking up at it. You can't really see it, but it will help it float a little bit. So then the hard part now is I like to flip it if you have a rotary vise, and this makes it easy to do these wraps to create this post. So we're going to make a couple wraps up in here, and just, you can kind of do it messy. All you need to do is just create a little post that is where you're going to wrap your rooster hackle. The longer it is, the more heavily you can hackle it too. So I like to make mine moderately long, not crazy long. And then I would flip it around. You guys can't see this, but what I'm doing on this side is I'm just covering any of the white that's showing on this side to kind of help it out. And so that's what we want. But again, we want to leave a little spot up in here to do this last whip finish. So I don't want to crowd it, so I'll take those wraps off. But now we've got this, kind of get it all straightened out. And then we're going to put a little bit of gray widow's web in here. This will also help solidify that post too. So we're going to clamp that in here. We're going to trim just a little bit above this foam right there. That'll add a little bit more buoyancy too. And then again here, I'm going to flip this, and we're going to lock this in right here. And this will help make that post a little bit sturdier. I'm normally not a huge fan of tying parachute posts. That's why you don't see me do a lot of them. But the key to doing a parachute post is if you have a more firm post, it's easier to wrap on. When your post is all flimsy all over the place, it gets really frustrating. So if you can help your post get, a little more stiff by putting a little bit of glue or something on it, that's a trick that I was told a while ago from a fly tying guru that comes in the shop here. His name's Mike. And so what we're going to do now is we need to tie this hackle in. I have a rooster hackle from Whiting and Grizzly Dot Olive. You can do just Grizzly if you want. Like a yellow would work, a brown would work. I think olive is just most appropriate for a green drake. But you can make other stuff work if you don't have it. And the fish are keyed in on these bugs, you just got to get them something kind of close. What really gets difficult is if you're fishing somewhere with a lot of pressure. Or if there's loads of green drakes, you got to give them like an emerger where they'll deliberately choose to eat something that is an easy meal. And so then we're going to put a little bit of dubbing on. This is a blend of a couple different dubbings. It's like a Beta's tan, a pale morning olive, and then like a tan, I think, or like a yellowish one. So I'll link all of these colors below. It's like several different hairline dry fly dubbings. You don't need to have the blend right. If you want to just do green, you can certainly do that. But green drakes kind of have sometimes like a yellowish, grayish green color. So it just helps a little bit to have it right, at least for the video's sake. So now I've got this all wrapped in. I took one little wrapper on the post to help make it stabilized. And now we're just going to wrap and wrap and wrap as many times as you want. You can hackle it as heavy as you want. You can just keep going through. If you need it to float a lot, I'll wrap it around a couple times here to make a really high floating one. And now what we're going to do with this thread here is you're going to actually bring it up and around the base of where you're doing these hackle wraps. And this is again why I really like this Simplify Nano Silk. I can actually run up and down this post for durability in it, you can hardly see it in there. So that'll help keep that parachute together. I think most of us have experienced having a parachute post come unfurled on us. So this thread, you can actually kind of wrap through it to give it some extra durability. So now what I'm doing is pulling these fibers back to do a last little whip finish here. Do one, two, do one, then we can do another one in here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's pretty much done. I'll trim this foam down just a tad and maybe this wing a little bit. And there you go. You got your Cliffhanger green drake. You can tie this in a lot of other styles of mayflies, like PMDs, or you could do a hex like this would be great. They hatch in slower water, but this is a really, really effective emerger pattern that's very suggestive of a live insect. So you can get all this stuff at caddisflyshop.com. If you like the videos, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, you can follow us and like it. That helps support. And yeah, list of everything is below. Thanks, guys.